New False Count Anywhere podcast here, part of the Earnestly podcast. I'm your host, Ernest EJ Christian. Another week of pro wrestling as we are right down knee deep into Wrestlemania season. And of course, joined here by my man, Rob the Genius. He's of course 1/3 of the Mind of the podcast, host of the Rob the Genius podcast, Rob the Genius blog, regular frequent flyer here, of course, the podcast. Rob, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, what's happening, man? Good to be here Sunday night.
Yeah. Yeah, but listen, I know people see your face and see our face a lot now on this feed, but here's the deal, dude. It's WrestleMania season, man. I mean, we're still on the gas. You know what I mean? We got to go. There's a lot going on. And I feel like every episode of SmackDown and Raw has been consequential to where we have to react on these things.
Yeah, I mean, they've been moving forward on pretty much everything the last few weeks.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we'll talk about here. Obviously, we'll talk about SmackDown on Friday. A lot went on there. The Slammy is going to happen this year. We have a list of awards we're giving out WrestleMania weekend, which we'll dive into that and see we'll predict who should win and who probably will win. And then Mr. One Bill Goldberg, Bret Hart's favorite guy, Bill Goldberg, reportedly is promised a final match from Triple H, and we debate now whether or not, if it does happen, who should he face. But first, SmackDown Friday, pretty wild. I know SmackDown is wild. Yeah, it's WrestleMania season. I get it. It's official. We got a lot of official matches here. Official. You called it, Rob. Not that wasn't gonna happen. I just threw a little bit of doubt just because I could do that. But we're gonna get it. Triple threat match between Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth freaking Rollins. Man, your thoughts on everything that went down on Friday night, the Brawl?
Man, it was crazy, and it's just this is years in the making, and this is one of those times the triple threat match actually makes sense. Because all three guys have beefs with each other, right? It's not like they have two people have issue and then they're throwing the third person in there. Look, Seth and Roman got issue, Seth and Punk got issue, and Punk and Roman got issue. So, and some of it's real life, not kayfabe, right? I mean, Seth is very open about his not liking CM Punk. Roman has been very open about how Punk said some things that made life difficult for him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know that Punk necessarily dislikes either of them that much in real life. And then Seth and Roman, they have they have a professional rivalry. It's not, they don't dislike each other in real life, but they definitely is a professional kind of competition between them that kind of makes it hard to be best buddies away from work, right?
yeah,
That's, that's the reality of that business. And because look, Seth and Cody have been open about that, they're not best buddies either. And it's because of professional competition. And, you know, um, I mean, like the people who are the most serious about being successful in that business, um, you're in direct competition with certain people, and and it's hard to be best friends with those folks because you're both trying to get the same thing. So, and with those three, that's definitely been real. So, there's some real life here but they have, made sure that put kayfabe storyline stuff in there too. So this is not
yeah.
just some, is it a shoot or is it a work kind of thing? There's plenty of story to it, like, on screen story to it. So everything has a meaning.
Yeah. Is it pretty not as official yet, but safe to say this is your night one main event, right?
Probably.
Probably. You doing something
Well, I
just
mean,
like a little bit out there?
the only thing I mean, because if you look at what else, the other things that could have been, Jane Gunther is not going to be. I don't think that was ever on, honestly. I don't think they were ever a candidate to main event night one.
Right.
Um, I mean, the only other one that I think would have a chance would be the Rhea Bianca Io thing, and
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to, because I think one, because they made it triple threat, and the other thing is that, I mean, there's bound to be some shenanigans involved. I don't think we're getting a clean finish there. I think somebody's running in or something. And I don't think that they're not going to end the night on that type of note.
Yeah, it's got to be a somewhat happy note. I don't know. This whole Roman Seth kind of thing is really interesting because I don't know to be honest with you. If you ask me to pick a winner, I don't know who I would pick, but this thing it can go either way. Honestly, this is so open ended. It's not even funny. Like I don't know. Like now it's official. This go either way.
Yeah, and I think as far as who wins, I do think there's going to be some backstage, negotiations about that.
Yeah.
I don't think it. Yeah, I mean, because yeah, I mean, like a lot of times in the IWC, people throw around the word politicking way too much. Because I think like 90% of this stuff is not politics. I mean, but I think this might be one of those instances. Well, um, where that could come into play. I think, well, and put it this way, I definitely think all three of those guys are lobbying for this to be the night one main event, if it was ever in doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, don't think for 1 minute that none of those three guys would be content with just with being the opening match or something. Okay, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, hey, look at the bright side though. CM Punk gets his WrestleMania main event.
Well, yeah,
If
that's
somebody do get that.
oh yeah, and then look, he's been saying all the right things about that, like, oh, it's okay, it's not a big deal anymore. He's lying. Okay, don't think for 1 minute that he doesn't want to do that. Okay, don't think for 1 minute that he doesn't want that. Okay, and this is probably his best shot at getting it because
Oh,
he's
no
built
doubt, no doubt. Yeah,
So don't think for 1 minute that he doesn't want that.
and
Okay.
maybe his only shot really to get it. To be honest with you,
Because I mean,
I don't see another opportunity what he can do unless he's in a feud with Roman like beyond this year or Cody
yeah, I mean, he'd have to be feuding. I mean,
with Top
because
Star.
yeah, I think so. Because although what's funny is, I mean, if because if you look at all the various like metrics and things of that nature, um, I mean, Roman's still out ahead of everybody, but Punk is right there with Cody on on most stuff.
On popularity too. Also, you think?
I mean, like, well, I mean, Cody sells more merchandise because I mean, you see those kids all over the place with
And he's
T-shirts and
fresh too.
that
Also, he's a
stuff.
lot more fresher. I think.
But I mean, Punk sells plenty himself. You see plenty of CM Punk shirts and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
out there.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at things like how many views their segments get and like ratings for their segments and stuff like that, Punk is right there with Cody.
That's true. That's very true.
So, um, so I wouldn't. I mean, it's not. I'd say if he were 10 years younger, he'd be a shoe in to get a main event. Um, sometime in the next few years. But because of not just his age, but his injury history also. I mean, yeah, it's kind of, this is a big shot. And like I said, he'd have to be feuding with Cody next year to get anything as good of a shot at it.
Hold on 1 second. I got a big phone call coming in. Give me 1 second, okay?
What do we got?
I got a phone call. Hold on. What's up?
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping to. If you stop calling me. I started like 20 minutes ago. Okay. I'll drive safe. Okay. I love you. Bye. Yeah. Sorry about that. The wife's calling.
Oh, no problem. Hey, you got to take that one.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So she's on the way. She's on the way home. Sorry, guys. I know we're live here on X on YouTube, of course. Doing this. All three guys are on. Seth is a heel now, right? Or he's kind of a tweener type.
Well, right now, I mean, he's mad at both of them. So, I mean, I don't think he's necessarily a heel, but he's extremely pissed off at both of those guys and is willing to do whatever he has to do to get back at them. So
Yeah, that crowd was hyped though on Friday. Dude, Europe does it different, brother. Europe just does it different. My lord.
yeah, and now look, I mean, a lot of that is because they don't go there all the time. So
Right. So it's fresh.
and
It's something. It's excitement. Yeah.
yeah, and we're spoiled because we get it all the time every year.
Yeah.
So it's for
Yeah.
us to just be spoiled by it and all of that.
Yeah. I like this segment though. I thought the segment was very productive. I thought the segment was very, very good. I thought it was very I thought, there's definitely there's a lot of things like this can go anywhere. Like I said, you have the Paul Heyman portion of this also, and also this feud and wherever it goes beyond WrestleMania, also it guarantees Roman will be away from Cody for a little while. This keeps Roman away from Cody for a while. We need Roman and Cody to be away from each other at least for another like 9-12 months.
Yeah, because
if we want to do Roman and Cody again next year, WrestleMania, I'm fine with that. But I need another year away from of these two separated.
well, it's just I mean, if you put them together, if you put they wrestle each other for the title, I mean, then what are you gonna do there? Because I don't think again getting back to the whole politicking kind of thing. Yeah, I don't think Roman's gonna be too eager to take another loss to Cody like that. So
Right.
yes, a lot gonna be negotiated when they do that match again.
Yeah. Other feuds that other matches were made official this weekend. Jay Cargill, Naomi official. I actually like that segment between those two, where Naomi cost Jay the match against Liv Morgan. I thought Jay looked pretty good in the ring though against Naomi. I mean, my concern going to WrestleMania really is can Jay pull off in ring? We know she has the character all set, and we know all that, but can Jade pull off a solid wrestling match at WrestleMania on that platform? We know Naomi will come through. Will Jade come through? That's my
Or
concern.
just gotta lay it out right. I mean, so I mean, this is a kind of a blood feud on what you could call it, and so like they're not gonna be rolling around doing a bunch of standing switches and headlock takeovers or whatever. They're
Yeah.
going to be fighting basically, and I mean, you can just keep it there and just, I mean, I mean, they can throw punches, they can push each other around. Um, and maybe, you can have some run-ins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think, because in that match Friday, Raquel Rodriguez was interfering a good bit.
Yeah.
You do stuff like that, and then I mean, my fantasy booking prediction is that Naomi going to get somebody to help her beat beat Jade in the match.
Oh, you think Jay loses on WrestleMania? Whoa.
I mean, if you I think I mean, unless they're just gonna make this I mean, this has got too much heat to it to make it just a
Is
if Jay
Bianca out on this thing? Is Bianca out on this feud now? Or you think she's still hanging around? Because she's
oh,
busy doing with the EO Rio thing.
well, that's the thing, because if you eventually rope her back in, like, you need the feud to still be going if you're gonna eventually rope her back in.
Yeah.
So, that would suggest Naomi winning the first match. Um,
Right.
because, I mean, if Jade wins the match, the feud's over, right? I mean, because
Yeah.
it's,
Of
she's a
course.
baby. She wins, it's over, right?
Well, let's see. That's controversial, of course, how she wins. I mean, the way you can book
Yeah.
that.
But I mean, I don't think you would do that. I don't think you would. I mean, so I mean, when Jade does beat her, I think I mean, it should be clean, and but I think if you're gonna, I think there's enough here to keep this going for a while. And I don't, and then also, I mean, if they ended it at WrestleMania, like then what do you do, right? I mean, you got,
Right.
and then what, right? So
Right.
I think they got
Exactly.
enough juice to keep this going for a bit, especially if you're gonna rope Bianca back in. And I think, you know, um, I think Naomi can get some help and win. Um, there are two ladies in NXT who would fit that bill perfectly. if
Yeah.
if she wants to enlist their help,
Yeah.
they would fit
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
in. Jay, I mean Lash and Jakara down
Hmm.
there in NXT, they would fit into this program perfectly, and they've already had issue with you know Bianca and Jade previously. So, I mean, it's pretty easy fantasy booking or real life booking to just have Naomi enlist both of them to help her out. To
Yeah.
me, think
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's easy. That's like I said, I thought that up, and that didn't take any time for me to think up. So, you
Right.
know,
I'm actually low key, like, talk about all the big matches, obviously Cena, Cody, and all these feuds that we've seen start developing, matches to be announced. I'm really looking forward to this match. I really am. 'Cause I'm very curious to see if Jade is ready for the big time. This is like, you can say this is her career could be online right here, because WrestleMania. I mean, it's the
yeah.
showcase the immortals, man. You don't show up at WrestleMania, it kind of defines who you are going forward.
Yeah, well, because I think honestly, I mean, the real question is going to be like, obviously, she's going to get pushed. She's going to be a big attraction and all that. But the
Yes.
question is just going to be, what what will they do with her ultimately, as far as like putting her in title programs and whatnot? And if she doesn't get there with the ring work, then it's going to be hard to have her regularly be in title programs and whatnot. Because
Right.
you know, now I'm not look. She's going to win one at some point, right?
Yeah.
But it's just she's got to get there with the ring work. You can put her in like solo matches for titles. You know, I mean, she's got to if she's going to be that, then yeah, she has to show that she's gotten there with the ring work, and we'll see.
Yeah. We will definitely see. Another match announced this on SmackDown. Uh, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens official.
Yeah,
This
and
this this should be fun.
now imagine by the time the match happens, it's not just going to be a regular match. They're going to have some type of street fight or something probably.
Yeah, unsanctioned match, something that of that ilk. Yeah.
I mean, unless
Yeah. I do like.
unless they're going to keep
Yeah.
it
Go ahead.
going, unless they're going to
Yeah.
keep it
True.
going.
Hmm.
If they're gonna keep it going after WrestleMania, then you just make this a regular match, and then you do the Street Fight or whatever later. So it just
Or
depends.
you can do the regular match now, and then at Backlash do the Hell in a Cell or whatever hell you do it.
Yeah,
Stipulation. You do have another month of extra content to a show to use that, because I can see it's going another month or two, and then they put it in after before the summer.
yeah,
So yeah, it should be a good one. So yeah, SmackDown was. I mean, another good SmackDown to react to. Another good show. I mean, like I said, we're right now right in the thralls of WrestleMania season right now, and we're now, as of this weekend, I think 4 weeks away. I think.
yeah. And so did you are you crying a tear for poor Tiffany?
I gotta be
Or
honest
some
with you. I thought I thought Charlotte owned that segment with Tiffany. I thought you saw the difference between the two right now. And granted, Tiffany is she's young, she's new, and you can see the experience and lack of between the two, like in the face to face. Charlotte is being Charlotte. Charlotte is arguably the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Tiffany's is fresh, but you can see the differences there was so massive just on screen. Like, to me, I thought Charlotte owned that segment, and to me, it's about Tiffany. What can she do now moving forward to add to the character? Obviously, in ring she's okay, but can she not make herself believable? Actually, I've been saying this podcast also too. Like, she's a mean girl. She's not really a bay face, because she's really kind of a mean girl. Not really, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah, and when just it's funny just seeing some people on like Twitter all weekend just feeling like some people were very upset about that segment
Yeah, I thought it
that
was a
they
good
thought.
segment, but I thought you could see the difference between the two. Why
Well, yeah, and
Charlotte?
some people thought Charlotte wasn't being fair to her.
Well,
Right.
that's like that. That's like that John Cena Roman Reigns moment from 2017, in a
Um,
sense.
yeah, and you got to, but like it's WrestleMania season. You're already
Time to
the
step
women's
up.
champion.
Yeah,
You're already the
she,
women's
she,
champion
but
after
there's
WrestleMania
also
4.
the problem when you fast track people. When you fast track people this quickly, who may not be ready across the board, it can have some. It becomes noticeable really quick.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, well, I mean, the same thing happened with what happened with Rhea, and when she first like she came up, and and now there were some reasons they had to change the matches around at WrestleMania that year, but she came in and her first singles match on the main roster was winning the title from Asuka at WrestleMania, and like the first couple of months after all of that, I mean, there was a lot of talk about her not being ready for all of that back then. Um, look, I mean, y- y- you gotta, well, this WrestleMania season in particular, it shines a light on people, and we see what's good, and and what people need to improve on, and it exposes everything, and I mean, and look, she'll be better for it in the long run. And also depending on how they, continue to try to work with her character and all of that. But
Yeah,
yeah, but like I said, like this is not her natural character. But when you're, I mean, it's different on the main roster. On the main roster, you gotta, and I mean, unless you're somebody like Roman or Cody who can dictate what they're going to be,
Right.
uh, everyone else, you have to kind of be where they need you to be or be where the crowd is taking you. And I mean, last year, I mean, people started cheering for her last year, and it's like you can't, you know, at some point, if you're booking a show, you know, you can't keep somebody as a heel. The crowd is always going to keep cheering for them because
Yeah.
that messes up the flow of everything else. So you have to try and try them as a baby face and see if you can get that to work.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that's, I mean, that's really all you can do. And then,
Yeah. I'm with you. So all right. So that's SmackDown from this Friday. Obviously, we're back here on Wednesday. We're also react to Raw on Wednesday. We'll do the show. I mean, actually, I'll surprise you guys on the Wednesday show, hopefully. But yeah. All right. Two more things to get you out of here. So we're gonna have a Slammys event again this year.
yeah.
I think it's the first Slammys they've done in a couple of years, right?
As far as like, no, they're doing it on TV.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I think this is an actual event. I think I'm looking.
okay, because I
I'm
think
trying to
this
find
is
it.
the first time.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's on. It will stream live. It will stream live on WWE World and Wrestlemania on WWE social platforms on Sunday, April 20th rather. So it will be broadcasted on some
okay. So
platform.
this is the first time I think.
Hosted
Man,
by
this is the first
hosted by
time.
Big E and Kathy Kelly. Yeah.
All right, this is the first time in a long time that they made actually a show out of it. And
Yeah.
if they had, I don't know if they've ever done that before, because usually what happens, like sometimes they give them out on Raw. Last year they gave them out at like over the weekend they had the whole WWE World thing set up at in Philadelphia. And so the wrestlers who came through for some of those events, if they had won an award, they presented it to them there. So I think this is the first time I remember them doing this as an actual show.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's go through some of these nominees here for some of these categories. This category here, I think is gonna be very interesting here. Breakout Superstar of the Year. Here are your nominees. You got Braun Breaker, Lara Vicaria, Penta, Uba Femi, Julia, Tiffany Stratton, Jacob Fatu, Chelsea Green, and Stephanie Vakir. Robert Genius? Who would you vote for Breakout Superstar of the Year?
Jacob.
Yeah, me too. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like Stratton would be the easy answer, or Braun Breaker because they're both champions on the roster. But I think Fatu, bro. I think he is going to be a monster. And by the way, I don't think he'll be a heel much longer. Within a year, he'll be a babyface because it's going to be hard to keep that crowd away from him because they love him.
Oh
They
yeah,
love him.
because I went to SmackDown about a month ago. I mean, every time he came out there, man, that place
That
went
pop.
crazy.
Yeah.
And
They may break him up with the bloodline at some point.
oh yeah, I mean I mean at some point over the next year that whole thing is gonna, yeah, he's gonna break away, I think. And because I used to watch him. He used to, when he was, I first heard about him when he was in MLW. He was the MLW World Champion, and
Mm-hmm.
that's when I first heard about him. And so, and they're on like one of those fourth tier cable channels, and they show stuff on YouTube. And so I just, I started dug it up and started just, watching some of his stuff there. And yeah, and everybody who was seeing him back then was all saying the same thing, man. Look, it's when he eventually gets to WWE, he's gonna blow everybody away.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait till they change it. They really modify the character going forward. All right, you guys. How about Social Star of the Year? It's two nominees. You got Chelsea Green and Drew McIntyre.
I go with, well, because so if we're talking about like saying stuff on Twitter, it's Drew for sure.
Yeah, I got
But
Drew for me.
like Chelsea does a lot of stuff with Instagram videos and whatnot, and I'd probably go with Drew though.
Yeah, I go Drew also. They use a lot of his category. Use a lot of his work in ring into the social media thing. Chelsea Green's always had a presence on social media.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I have to go Drew. The way they utilize him, his social throughout the some of the feuds he was into with Punk and whatever. It was effective. So I agree with you on Drew, definitely. Oh, the Chelsea Green's social media has been fantastic. Even when she was out WWE for a little while, she was hitting it well. All right, how about the what the moment of the year? What the fuck moment? WTF? Here are your categories. So follow me here. There's a bunch of them here. There's 10 of them. R-Truth calls Triple H Champa. Kevin Owens car interviews. Chelsea Green goes into the dumpster. Dominic Mysterio in the shark cage. ISO Speed with Logan Paul at WrestleMania. LA Knight in Logan Paul's pool. R-Truth wrestles with John Cena. Rabbit noises from Tama Tonga. Jacob Fatu, quote unquote, I love you solo. Or the Wyatt Six debut.
Okay.
See, the Wyatt Six I would have chose, but are they even around anymore?
They're still there. All I heard that Bo Dallas is injured or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. That's why I haven't seen him in a while. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's all I heard. But now for me, okay, it's one of two things. It's either the I Show Speed thing at WrestleMania because I've watched that like a million times.
Yeah.
Because it's hilarious, just the way when Randy kicks him, the bottle top comes off his head.
Yeah.
And then because then Randy starts barking at him, and then does the RKO on the table.
Yeah.
And then for me, is that or it's the Tama Tonga thing because he just broke that out of nowhere, and 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 then it's just funny because he's very kind of aware of what's going on around,
Right.
and like he's really kind of just jumped in with both feet into this thing, and I think it's just one of those. I'll probably go with the actual speed one though.
So honestly, this is how I know I've had a rough year watching wrestling. Other than the Wyatt Six debut, I have been the rest of these I don't remember or haven't seen. So I need to go back and watch some of these again before I actually vote if I decide to vote on this thing. All right, match of the year. This should be a fun one here. We got Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes WrestleMania. You got CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at Hell in a Cell. That was a great one. Roman Reigns versus The Rock versus Cody Rhodes versus Seth. No, sorry. Rephrase that. The main event from night one: Roman Reigns and The Rock versus Cody and Seth at WrestleMania. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. Damian Priest versus Gunther at SummerSlam. Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles at Backlash. The 2025 Men's War Games match. Bayley versus Io Sky at WrestleMania. There's a lot of nominees here. Sami Zayn versus Gunther at WrestleMania.
I mean, you're right. There's a lot of nominees there. And I mean, there are a lot to think about. My initial thought would be either the WrestleMania 40 main event, night two, Cody and Roman, or the cell match, with Drew and Punk. I would. Okay, I mean, I think Drew and Punk was. If I had to pick what was the better like match, I would say Drew and Punk, and largely because they were self-contained. It was the two of them and all of that. But obviously the bigger, more important match of the year, the most important match of the year, was Cody and Roman at 40 on night two. And look, that was a great match unto itself, and all the run-ins. Normally, run-ins can kind of tarnish what
All
you
right,
would give a star
Wi-Fi's been
rating.
shitty. What's up?
Yeah, I'm still going. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would go.
How much did you get? How much did you get actually?
I once you froze up, I just kept going. So yeah, when you froze up, I just kept going. So maybe about 2 or 3 minutes.
Let me take it down real quick. This is annoying. I don't need this up here. All right. All right, we're good now. I don't mind now. Go ahead.
Okay, so out of all the ones on that list, yeah, I think if you're gonna pick best, it'd be between Roman and Cody on night two, and then Drew and Punk at the cell match. At least that's what I think. And I think the cell match was the better. Like if you're just looking at like if you're doing like star ratings or whatever, you know, I would say the cell match was the better of the two. But Cody and Roman was the biggest match of the year, and it was really great itself. It wasn't like I mean, it was an excellent match. So, and the spectacle of it all with all the run-ins and everything. Um, so, I mean, honestly, to me, it's a coin flip between those two.
So it's almost unfair, really. You know what I'm saying? To pick between the two.
Yeah, yeah,
Really. I mean, I'll go Roman and Cody just cause, but it's unfair. Honestly, if you really keep it at 100.
yeah. Because honestly, and then Drew and Punk, I think, was the best cell match. Man, I mean, I was recency biased to call it best ever,
Yeah.
but like they went, for what that match is supposed to be and what it's supposed to be about. Um, to me, it's right there with the original one with Taker and Shawn. I think.
Right. All right. We're back now. We're back. That's
Okay.
okay now.
Because
All right.
sometimes the cell matches now, I mean, so many of the more recent cell matches have just turned into people stacking up chairs and seeing what type of wacky stuff they could do.
It's good now.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So I picked Roman and Cody as well too from last year's Mania. Well, that's not fair. I gotta tell you, there's some bangers there. Gunther and Sami Zayn was amazing last year at Mania.
Yeah.
Io and Bailey was solid. What's I liked it? Obviously, the tag match was good. The Rock. Seven Punk and Raw Netflix was really good too. Also, a lot of good stuff here, man. Definitely, it's almost unfair.
Yeah.
All right, this is for you because I don't know who to pick here. You choose this one. I haven't watched NXT in a couple of years. NXT Superstar of the Year: Uba Femi, Roxanne Perez, Trick Williams, Ethan Page, Julia, or Kalani Jordan.
Okay. I would say Trick because Trick is either Trick or Roxanne because
Yeah.
both of them, like year round, they were like the leading man and leading woman of the show basically, and they both had to carry things, all year round basically. Um, so I think either one of them.
I will say I've heard Trick's name being mentioned more than anybody else's from the outside, so I'll probably go Trick.
Oh
just
yeah,
because
look,
of that.
he is. I mean,
He's on social. He's a social media star.
yeah, and on as far as I mean, because I went to the NXT takeover and it was in October, and yeah, it was clear he was the star of that show.
Right. All right, rivalry year. Should be a fun one here. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest and Finn Balor, Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, and then the Bloodline versus Bloodline. We'll speak through this real quick. I'll go Punk and Drew, honestly.
Yeah, because they did the social media stuff, they did the promo stuff, they had the matches. They and they did the segments where they attacked each other. They all of that was A+ for all of them for them.
All right, quickly. I'll go through this real quickly because I gotta get out of here in a couple minutes. Let me see. Tag team of the year: DIY, Awesome Truth, A-Town Down Under, Jade and Bianca, mostly Machine Guns, Bloodline, War Warriors, Judgment Day, Street Profits, and Liv and Raquel. Who you got?
Jade and Bianca, because they were. I mean, they were. I think they were champions the most longest out of all of those teams. And they had they had. I think they had the most matches on premium live events, and they pretty much they carried that women's tag team division. So I go with them.
Faction of the year: they had the OG Bloodline, the Judgment Day, the New Bloodline, American Made, or Damage Control.
I say New Bloodline.
Really interesting.
Well, because when they were killing.
5-2 really is really.
Oh yeah, because I mean it's because of Jacob, yes, but
yeah,
I think he just took them to a different level.
How about two more here? Two more important ones here. Male Superstar of the Year. You have Cody, you got Roman, Gunther, CM Punk, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, or Seth freaking Rollins.
Cody.
Yeah. It's Cody? I'm going Jey.
Well,
I'm going Jey.
Cody's champ. I mean,
right, but true, and that's a good answer. There's no bad answers here. But Jey Uso is the one who's probably had the biggest leap of the bunch. That's why I think I'll use him as from WrestleMania to now. He's had the biggest leap. The Yeet movement's has picked up massive steam.
Well, I think if you're as popular as Cody is and you're the top champion, then I think you're Superstar of the Year. If
Yeah, true.
if Jade been champion all this time instead of Cody, then I would say the same thing.
Right. All right. Last one. Yeah. Last one here. Female of the year, start of the year. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Bailey, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, Chelsea Green, or EO Sky.
All of them. I mean, um, man, because I mean, personally, I know Bianca's not on the list, but I'll pick her because she had. I mean, to me,
Really?
well,
That's
'cause look,
interesting.
she had the biggest. She had to do a lot of heavy lifting last year.
Mm. Yeah,
Uh,
with Jade, of course. Yeah.
that and then, yeah, I mean, she had. I mean, she did. Yeah, she had to do a lot of heavy lifting. She was, I think, she was the most active as far as in the ring. I think of all the women there.
Hmm.
She was active all year. Um, and her performances in the ring were always very good. Um, so, but she's not on the list. So I got man. Well, because to me, there's like other than her, I mean, like to me, there's nobody who really put it all together because Rhea was injured for a while.
Yeah.
Um,
I was
and
gonna pick Rhea too, because what Rhea showed me that she can work with the title and be okay.
yeah,
But I will say this much though: the one who had the biggest leap this year in this of this bunch, I never thought I'd say this, but Liv Morgan. This last year, Liv Morgan, she's really improved.
yeah. It's just I think yeah. I mean, so yeah, out of the people there, I mean, out of the people there, yeah, you think you probably give it to her.
Yeah. I guess, but still starting. I mean, it really had to be based on just accolades and stuff. I mean, Tiffany Stratton might be the other one really, but again, that's here or there. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that's the Slammies for April 20th. All right, last thing we got here. Last thing. So Ariel Helwani on his had Goldberg on his podcast, or Bill Goldberg on his podcast, and and apparently Bill Goldberg mentioned on the pod that Triple H has promised him one more match at some point this year.
Yeah.
You had mentioned earlier that he had done some stuff recently to get cleared up. He had an injury or something. That's why he's been gone for a little
Well, I
while.
think it's just he's in his 50s, and so I mean, I guess he's in his 50s, and so his you know joints are he has 50-something-year-old joints and all of that stuff, and
You
getting
being in shape,
there,
right?
and yeah, I mean, and getting in physical shape to possibly take some bumps and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean,
So I ask you this, Rob.
yeah.
Bill Goldberg, one last match. Where would you do it, and who should be the guy that does his last match with?
Um, I think it depends on what he and what they want it to be. Um,
I mean, we assume it's a retirement match. I'm assuming, right?
yeah, this is going to be his last match. So if it's, I mean, because I mean, you do one of two things: either he gets his one last ride off into the sunset, triumphant ride off into the sunset, or he puts somebody over. Right? It's one of those two things.
Right.
And it just depends on what you want to do. I guess what he wants to do. Because look, Sting went out with a victory. Undertaker went out with a victory. Um, so like this, I mean, some people have this idea that well, you got to put somebody over in your last match. I just completely disagree with that. I think if you're a legend like that, you get to do what you want. Um, and they find somebody who's suitable for it. Um, so just
I mean, I'll say this much though. It doesn't need to be a main event spot. It doesn't need to
no,
be.
no, no.
But look. I'm not a big Goldberg fan. Let's put it away. I'm not. But first number one. I'll say this much, and people are gonna be shocked when I say this. I'm actually okay with this. I'm actually okay with a Goldberg match. I'm actually okay with it happening even at SummerSlam. I'm
Yeah,
okay with him whether or not he puts someone over or whatever it may be, however he wants to dictate it. I'm okay with that for nostalgia purposes, and because we know this will be his last match, I'm okay with the way they booked this. Okay, it doesn't have to be. Oh, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. It'd be cool to have his last match in Atlanta, Georgia, but they were just there recently, so I don't think that there's anything on the schedule saying they'll be back there anytime soon. So, if you want to put it in Saudi Arabia, so be it. Want to put it in freaking SummerSlam? I'm okay with that, man. But I was thinking that if the obvious way, if you put someone over, you have him and Braun Breaker do it.
Well, yeah, if that's what you want to do,
Yeah.
if he wants to put somebody over, then I think that's what you do.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't, which again, as far as I'm concerned, you get to call your shot when you're a legend like him. To me, you get to call it.
I agree.
And they and
What
if
would
they
you what would you call? Like if you had a chance to book, how would you do it? Who would the opponent be?
um if he wants to put over Braun Breaker, then I would absolutely do that.
Right.
If he wants to go out with a win, then you just you get somebody like Austin Theory or Grayson Waller or somebody and just throw them in there and let them
A little squash match.
yeah you know
I can see that.
and it just keep it simple. You don't have to do too much and because again I think as far as I'm concerned he has the right to call his own shot
Right.
and go out the way he wants to go out. And it's and look, if he wants now, if he wants to do something that they think is just way too ridiculous to do, then they'll obviously say we can't do that. But I think he has a right to call a shot, and
He does.
that's what I'm in favor of because to me, I think it's too much. I don't think we should force these people to go out with a loss. I mean, because nobody wants. I mean, who really wants to see that? Other than IWC nerds, who
The
really
best way to
wants?
do it, the best way to do is to do a squash. Then, and as you mentioned two
Yeah, I
guys,
mean,
Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Just bring them in there, do a squash, boom, call it day, have a good career, have a good retirement, boom, boom, boom. That's it, done.
like, because like if you go to if I went to if I were to go to a U2 farewell concert, right? If they were having
Right.
like they're not doing that yet, but if they were having their last concert and
Yeah.
I happened to be able to go, I would not want to go there and then see Bono singing backup with some other person singing lead, right?
Right.
I wouldn't want to go there and see the Edge hand over his guitar to somebody else after two songs. Okay, you know, um, that's not what if the people who you're selling that match to, unless it's to somebody like Braun Breaker, who's kind of like the next incarnation of somebody of Goldberg, or whatever. Unless it's him, then if you're going to the stadium, if you're buying a ticket to see Goldberg's last match, you're not going there to watch him lose.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just like
Exactly.
those people last year at Revolution. Those people weren't going. Nobody wanted to see Sting lose his last match.
Right.
Please.
Totally. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And as I said, I'm okay with another Goldberg match. I'm okay with one more. I'm okay with
Well,
it.
so I was a Goldberg mark. So, and
Oh,
to
you
me,
were? Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
because I mean, to me, he's I mean, he's one of the things, what he does is one of the things you watch this stuff for, man. You just need a big jack dude just run through people, man. I mean, that's one of the things you watch this stuff for.
Yeah. He was kind of a modern day or Ultimate Warrior, some degree. I mean, in some ways, but it is what it is. So
Yeah,
anyway,
minus the bad habits. I mean,
that's true. Very true. Very true. Anyway, follow Rob on X on Blue Sky at Rbon1. Check out Rob, of course. He's 1/3 of my Wrestling podcast, as well as his podcast, Rob Genius, and his blog, robgenius.com. Rob, any last thoughts?
No, that's it. So I mean, just things have turned up. We are again, we're going full speed ahead
Yeah.
towards WrestleMania, and yeah, because they started a little later than
Yeah.
usual, really hitting the gas. But this was also this is like the longest period because WrestleMania is in the middle of April, not the first week.
Right. And to
So
be
this
honest,
is
you can argue almost close to the end of April, honestly.
yeah. So this is the longest stretch they've had to go to
Yeah.
build this thing. So it's understandable that they took a little bit longer to really get rolling.
Right. So, all right. You can find me also on Twitter at H7. Of course, this show, part of Earnestly Podcast, at Earnestly Pod on YouTube, Earnestly Podcast, across all podcast catchers. Follow us anywhere. Till next one, we'll be back on Wednesday, Rob. We hopefully do our little surprise. But
Yes.
I'll say it now. If we get DJ on the show on Wednesday, hope crossing my fingers with you on Wednesday night. We'll do our WrestleMania Ultimate Challenge Draft. Cannot wait for that one.
Okay.
So, but yeah. All right, guys. Asian Christian 7, of course, like I said on Twitter. And until the next one, we'll talk soon.